So, yeah, not a good day at the office for Angel Reese. The Rose did win, though, which is all that matters. But, like, I think it's got to the stage now for the Rose where, even though, look, I don't think in the first two games Angel Reese was that bad. I don't think she was brilliant. But it's now got to the stage where you have to play as her.
Angel Reese was supposed to be the shining star of the Unrivaled League, the one to carry the show in Caitlin Clark's absence, but after her much-anticipated debut, it's clear that fans were hyped for one reason only: Caitlin Clark. Without her, the cracks in the league are painfully obvious.
With Lisa, like, I would love to see her break down a player's game and say, this person should work on this. If this person could perfect the mid-range, that would take their game to the next level. If this person had a better left hand, if this person utilized their drop step more to the basket and was able to finish at the rim, if she says those things, like, those hold a lot of weight because they're coming from such an incredible player that is Lisa Leslie. So that
Unrivaled League has been hyped as the next big thing, promising to elevate women's basketball to a whole new level. But with Caitlin Clark opting out, the pressure was on Angel Reese, one of the most talked about rookies from the 2024 class, to deliver. Unfortunately for Reese, her first outing left fans underwhelmed. And it's becoming clearer by the day Caitlin Clark was the real reason for all the buzz.
being said, I think that around 300,000 views is pretty good for opening weekend. For what Unrivaled is, it is a 3v3 league. It is something for these women to do during the off season. And I didn't know. I didn't have expectations for what the numbers would look like, but I feel like seeing those, I feel like those are pretty good numbers. Now, are those numbers good enough to make this league a sustainable league year after year? That I'm not sure of. That's up to the investors. That's up to the television network.
Reese's debut for Rose Basketball Club wasn't a complete disaster, but let's call it what it is: forgettable. Sure, she put up a double-double with 10 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 assists. She shot 3 out of 7 from the field and was perfect from the free throw line, but that's hardly the superstar performance fans were hoping for.
Working on a shoot-around this morning. A power dribble by Reese. Couldn't finish high off the glass. Shaves out space. Angel Reese on the putback.
Meanwhile, her team fell short, losing 79-73 to Vinyl Basketball Club. And let's not sugarcoat this: Rose Basketball Club's inability to contain Ryan Howard was a glaring issue. Howard torched them with a game-high 33 points, hitting 6 3-pointers with ease. Rays may have had decent stats, but she was overshadowed by Howard's dominance and the game-winning plays from Derica Hammy and Aura Wool. As we pull now, let's talk about the elephant in the room: Caitlin Clark's absence. Fans were buzzing about the rookie class of 2024, but let's face it, that hype was entirely centered around Caitlin Clark. She's the reason Ban Stu and Nafisa Clyer teased an unknown wild card for so long, because they were structuring a deal that could have Caitlin Clark in the league now. Without Clark, the Unrivaled League feels hollow. Angel Reese may have been the next name on the list, but her debut proves she doesn't have the same ability to command attention or elevate her team the way Clark does. There's a stark difference between being good and being great. Caitlin Clark is great. She has the ability to single-handedly change the outcome of a game, to make the impossible look easy, and to bring fans to their feet with her electrifying play. Reese, on the other hand, struggled to stand out in her debut. Her numbers were respectable, but they didn't scream superstar, just more stat batting with rebounds. When Clark opted out, the league lost its biggest draw, and Reese isn't able to step into that role. The stats tell the story. Rose Basketball Club shot well from the field, hitting 44.7% overall and 37.5% from three, but they couldn't stop Vinyl Basketball Club firepower. Ryan Howard outshined everyone, proving once again that the league's most exciting moments come from established stars, not the rookies trying to fill their shoes. Fans aren't just disappointed, they are frustrated. Many are saying the Unrivaled League feels like a missed opportunity. Without Caitlin Clark, the league was supposed to showcase the best of the best, but instead it's become a stage for mediocrity
on this court. Like I talked about in other videos, I thought that the biggest obstacle for Unrivaled that they would need to overcome for this season was the actual product on the court, because 3v3 does not always translate to a television audience. I thought the full court format was really fun. I thought for the most part in most of these games,
one fan tweeted, "Without Caitlin Clark, the Unrivaled is just unwatchable. Angel Reese is trying, but she's no Clark." Another said the hype died the second Clark pulled out. Angel Reese can't carry this league, and it shows. Angel Reese will get another chance to prove herself in her next game, but the question remains, can she step up and become the star the league needs, or will the Unrivaled continue to struggle without its biggest draw? Fans will be watching closely, but the pressure is on if Reese can't deliver, the league risks losing even more momentum, and with players like Ryan Howard and Derricka Hemi stealing the spotlight, Reese needs to figure out how to make her mark in fast.
Angel Reese, 2 of 6 from the field. She had as many fouls as points. 3 turnovers to 1 assist. Look, it's not ideal. I don't think in general,
Ed Agelry had a golden opportunity to dominate the Unrivaled league and prove that the hype around her wasn't just noise. Instead, what we got was blame-shifting excuses and a clear reminder of why Caitlin Clark remains the gold standard. And Angel Reese was expected to carry the torch for Unrivaled in Caitlin Clark's absence, stepping into the spotlight with the league's top facilities and generous funding. Reese herself acknowledged the unprecedented support Unrivaled provides, everything from massages and cold tubs to hair and makeup services, daycare, and even equity in the league. But despite all this, Reese's performances and inability to inspire the same hype as Clark have left fans unimpressed. Rather than owning up to her lackluster impact, Reese has started pointing fingers. She's taken aim at the WNBA for its commercial travel policies and less glamorous facilities compared to the NCAA, where schools like LSU pampered their stars with charter jets and state-of-the-art amenities. But let's get real, blaming the system doesn't change the fact that Reese's debut in Unrivaled was mediocre. While she did post a respectable double-double with 10 points and 12 rebounds, it wasn't the superstar performance fans were waiting for, and worse, her team couldn't contain Ryan Howard, who dropped 33 points and completely stole the show.
Is that the Rose and Lunar Owls game had 89,000 people. There were less than 100,000 people watching this game.
Here's the kicker: Caitlin Clark didn't even need to be here to dominate the conversation. She sat this one out, giving other rookies like Reese a chance to shine. Yet instead of seizing the opportunity, Reese faltered. Fans can't help but wonder if Clark had accepted the millions Unrivaled offered her. Would the league even be able to keep up with her impact? Clark's absence was a gracious move, giving other players room to grow and prove themselves, but Reese's inability to rise to the occasion only reinforces the idea that the rookie class of 2024 revolved entirely around Clark. Without her, the league is struggling to find its spark. Unrivaled spared no expense in creating a league that caters to its athletes' every need, with $35 million in funding, world-class facilities, and all 850 fans seated courtside. It's clear they've gone all in on player experience. Reese herself admitted, "Everything I need is here. From massages to cold tubs to being able to have resources to workouts and everything. I would stay here forever."
I think so many people are watching women's basketball right now. Yeah. It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that, because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball that you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, just because of one single game. And just looking at that, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too. And I want y'all to realize that. It's not just because of one person. A lot of us have done so much for this game, and Kennedy has been here before, obviously, but there are so many great players in this league that have deserved this for a really, really long time, and luckily, it's coming now.
But even with these advantages, Reese hasn't been able to translate the hype into results. Imagine if Caitlin Clark had accepted their six-figure offer. She could have not only elevated her own game, but also brought more eyes to the league. Instead, she let others take the stage, and the league still can't escape her shadow.
Another nice lead. Gray preserves the possession. Funts. Chelsea Gray for three. 8 split blocked early. Here in Reese.
Reese's comments about the gap between WNBA and Unrivaled facilities aren't without merit. The WNBA's lack of charter flights and limited player resources have been hot topics, with players like Nneka Agim celebrating the recent introduction of charter travel for the 2024 season. But let's not forget, Clark didn't have these luxuries during her Rookie of the Year campaign with Indiana Fever, where she earned just over $76,000, yet she managed to dominate headlines and build a fan base that's now Unrivaled, pun intended. The difference: Clark doesn't rely on excuses. She lets her game do the talking. Reese had the perfect stage to prove she's worthy of being Caitlin Clark's rival. The Unrivaled League's 9-week format, with its TNT Sports backing and playoff structure, is designed to highlight star players. Yet despite the exposure and support, Reese hasn't been able to inspire the same excitement.
Missed on her pocket. This time with Sarah, it's Lloyd with the rejection. Vandersloot with the hand for Rose. Stevens knows it. Stewart. Short rims the three.
Basketball Club's opening night loss to Vinyl BC only emphasized the gap, while players like Ryan Howard dominated Reese was unable to take control of the game. Instead, she's doubled down on comments about the league's facilities, saying this is the exposure we deserve, being on TNT every night, being able to have access to watch our games. This is something that we deserve for a long time. True as that maybe exposure means little if you can't back it. Up on the court, fans are growing frustrated with Reese's inability to live up to the hype. Many took to social media to point out the obvious. Caitlin Clark sat this one out, and it's still all about her. Angel Reese had every chance to shine, but she's just not on Clark's level. The hype around 2024 rookies was all about Caitlin Clark. Reese is just proving it.
Knows it, and Pitts has her head on a swivel. Hall has a shield, fires, got it.
I think very crisp, and also figuring out exactly where to get their shots from.
See again, 13 points on 5 of 6 shooting.
And who can blame them? Reese's performance has been overshadowed by the glaring absence of Clark, who continues to dominate the conversation without even stepping on the court. Imagine if Clark had taken the 6-figure deal and joined Unrivaled. She would have elevated the league to unprecedented heights, inspiring teammates and captivating fans with her electrifying play. But instead, she let others take the spotlight, giving players like Reese a chance to prove their worth. Unfortunately, Reese hasn't lived up to the challenge, and while she's busy blaming the WNBA and other factors for her struggles, fans can't help but wonder what could have been if Clark had been here to carry the league on her shoulders.
Because you don't run before you can walk. And if I'm Angel Reese's trainer, I'm working on the little things. Because she's not shown that she's gotten that much better at the little things. Her handle is improved, yes. Her footwork is improved. Mostly on the perimeter, her post footwork hasn't really gotten better. Like, every coach, the coaches currently working with Angel Reese are trying to get her to run before.
Angel Reese's debut was a stark reminder of just how much the Unrivaled league misses Caitlin Clark. Reese may have talent, but she doesn't have the star power to carry the league on her shoulders. Fans wanted Caitlin Clark, and without her, the Unrivaled feels incomplete.
With Lisa, like, I would love to see her break down a player's game and say, this person should work on this. If this person could perfect the mid-range, that would take their game to the next level. If this person had a better left hand, if this person utilized their drop step more to the basket and was able to finish at the rim. If she says those things, like, those hold a lot of weight because they're coming from such an incredible player that is Lisa Leslie. So that
Meanwhile, her team fell short, losing 79-73 to Vinyl Basketball Club. And let's not sugarcoat this. Rose Basketball Club's inability to contain Ryan Howard was a glaring issue. Howard torched them with a game-high 33 points, hitting 6 3-pointers with ease. Reese may have had decent stats, but she was overshadowed by Howard's dominance and the game-winning plays from Derica Hammy and Aura Ull. As we pull now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Caitlin Clark's absence. Fans were buzzing about the rookie class of 2024, but let's face it, that hype was entirely centered around Caitlin Clark. She's a reason band Stu and Nafisa Clyer teased an unknown wild card for so long, because they were structuring a deal that could have Caitlin Clark in the league now. Without Clark, the Unrivaled league feels hollow. Angel Reese may have been the next name on the list, but her debut proves she doesn't have the same ability to command attention or elevate her team the way Clark does. There's a stark difference between being good and being great. Caitlin Clark is great. She has the ability to single-handedly change the outcome of a game, to make the impossible look easy, and to bring fans to their feet with her electrifying play. Reese, on the other hand, struggled to stand out in her debut. Her numbers were respectable, but they didn't scream superstar, just more stat batting with rebounds.